Hello, everyone. Anything to anybody?
Hello.
Hello.
It's an
Yeah.
atrocity, a sin, and a crime, the way all of this has been handled. And Fauci, uh, he's got to go to jail. I mean, right? Jail. I mean,
Oh, well,
not even a slap on the wrist or a fine. It's like you got to go to jail, man.
she said gallows. You know what gallows are, right?
Yeah, I know what gallows are. Absolutely. Yeah. But most of the country, they don't do capital punishment anymore. So where he's at, forget that, right?
Well, if there's Nuremberg 2 trials, there'll be death penalties.
I mean, it's like, dude, really? I mean, you're supposed to be a man of science and a doctor. You take a pledge and an oath, right?
Well, we don't know him. For all we know,
Okay.
he's a Luciferian.
Okay, so we don't know him, but supposedly he's a doctor, right? And he did the pledge. He took the pledge, right? Now, I don't know the doctor's oath and pledge uh, offhand and by heart, but
Well,
suffice
you know Fauci's history, right?
to an extent, yeah. I mean, he's basically a shyster his whole history, and he's
Well,
made millions off
yeah,
of, you know,
yeah.
pimping stuff.
He's the one who was pimping the AIDS vaccine and killing all these people.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm aware of that. I know, and it's so. How does a guy like this get in office and power like that with his background? Like nobody had any idea that he did any of this stuff in the past.
Well, it
Like
just proves, okay, and this is why this is why I didn't even vote last time, because
it's astounding.
it proves that Trump is a fraud. Either he's completely incompetent or he's a fraud. Those are the only two possible
Okay,
explanations.
so I don't think he's a fraud, in my opinion. What I think is, and it said it in the video yesterday, I don't think he's a fraud. I don't think he's incompetent either. What I do think is he was grossly misled by the scientists and by Fauci, and he believed them, and he was.
I understand that, but that's
Yeah,
what I'm talking about. That's part of leadership.
it
And,
is.
and it's part of the things that I've done wrong in my life as well, is
Yeah,
not having competent people behind me.
right. So I don't really personally, speaking for myself, blame him for that. Look, he made a mistake. Obviously, he put stock, lock, and barrel in the wrong people. Um, you know, uh, Anybody that's lived 40, 50 years or more has made mistakes, including myself. You know, to the 25-year-olds out there, God bless you, that are studs and studettes. I say, great. Of course, when I was 27 and even 37, I was kicking along as well and kicking some tail. But sooner or later, it's going to reverse on you and you're going to make some mistakes, folks. That's part of life. And so Trump made one on this, no doubt. I'm not blaming the guy. He made the best decision possible at the time with the information he had. And I'm sure he's pissed right now. I'm sure he's pissed. I'm sure he's steaming. I would be steaming. I'd be like, guys, I put my faith in you and I was totally misled and basically lied to, not just misled, flat out friggin' lied to. Because in his defense, he's not a scientist. You got to give him a break in that regard. He's not a freaking scientist. He doesn't know.
Well, let me ask you a question. Why didn't you take the jab?
I didn't take the jab because my instincts were telling me, warning, Will Robinson, warning. Okay. So I'm not a scientist either. Okay. But I am a technologist and have some sort of an empirical, whatever background and semi-scientific, whatever. But aside from that, my instincts were telling me it just didn't smell right.
Yep.
Um,
And Dan, and that's so we have the president who doesn't have that instinct.
well, no, 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 no,
And
no.
his only
I don't
objective,
think you, no, I don't
his
think
only
you,
objective was to make trillions for these
okay.
for these
Okay.
pharmaceutical companies.
Maybe, I don't know. I mean, look, there's a difference between him and us. Okay. He was surrounded by these so-called advisors and he had tons of inordinate amounts of pressure on him to make a decision, yay or nay, or left or right. We didn't. we might have fallen subject to that too. For all you know, his instincts might have matched ours, but because he had all this weight on him and all these advisors, if you will, pushing him, maybe he doubted himself. We're all human beings. Maybe he was like, this is what I'm feeling, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, let me ask you a question then. How many years has he been out of office now?
I don't know, 2.5.
Has he reversed his position?
I don't know.
Nope.
I don't know.
Nope.
I don't know.
Nope.
What do you mean reverse? Come out in public and say what?
I was wrong.
Okay. Yeah, not that I'm aware of.
No. And you can't be a good leader if you're not capable of saying I was wrong.
I agree with you there. Totally. Totally. See, we're at a point in this country where that's the problem with leadership in general. Nobody's responsible for anything. Everybody passes the buck. And oh, by the way, you nailed it. Part of being a leader is being a servant. You're actually serving the people that are under you. Okay. The leaders don't get that today. And then the other big part of it is what you said, amigo, is you're a human being. You're subject to mistakes as well. And you have to have the humility to be able to admit when you're wrong. Nobody likes to be wrong. I get it. I get it. But you have to squash the ego if you're going to be a good leader and say, you know what? I made the best decision possible at the time. I thought I was doing the right thing. I'm sorry, I was wrong. And people, 99% of people, in my opinion, out of 100 will accept that if you're sincere and you make an apology. They'll accept it. They'll even give you a break. They'll be like, you know what? He's a good leader. He tried. He made a mistake. I'm not going to barbecue the guy. But the minute you try to lie, sweep it under the rug, I'm omniscient, I can never do wrong. My IQ's 4,012. And
I know better than you. I know
exactly.
better than you.
I always know better than you because I'm the guy. I'm omniscient. I can do no wrong. No, sorry, folks. By virtue of being a human being, you are not omniscient. That's what you got to understand. By virtue of being a human being, you are not omniscient, all-knowing, and perfect. So get that out of your head. I don't care if you're a billionaire or you're the poor bum in the street under the bridge. We're all going to die the same. Okay, Jeff Bezos is not going to take Amazon with him. Okay, and he's not going to be, pimping products online when he's in heaven, if he goes to heaven or whatever. God Almighty is going to be like, great job on earth, Jeff. You got a lot of people jobs and you were helping people, but that's not going to really, I'm not looking for Amazon, whatever here. Thanks, Jeff. It's not going to happen. We're all going to die the same. A lot of the Egyptians and the Chinese generals and all of them had their armies mocked up, made up with 1,000 figures made out of clay or whatever, claymation. And the figures are still standing there in the tombs as far as we know. You're not taking it with you, bro.
Hey, I had a question I've been meaning to ask you. Did you read my book?
No. I've gleaned it. I haven't read it. Why?
Why haven't you read it?
I don't know. Sorry, I don't know. Just because.
If a friend of mine wrote a book, I would read it.
Okay. All right.
Right?
Well,
I mean,
no, I mean, I need to read it. You're right. Just
curious why you didn't. I assumed you didn't because you hadn't made a comment.
Okay. All right. Well, I haven't gotten around to it yet. Sorry. I'm sorry.
But that didn't answer my question.
I just said it. I mean, I haven't prioritized it. I mean, you want, right? I haven't gotten around to it yet. Sorry. That's my answer. So now that you reminded me, I need to take a look at it.
Oh, if you're not interested, you're not interested. So be it.
No, I didn't say I wasn't interested. I never said that. I never said that.
Do you remember when you were staying at that Residence Inn in Costa Mesa, like 30 years ago, 25 years ago, however long it was?
Okay.
I don't know if it was before or after you were married. I think it was the late 90s,
Yep.
right? And you remember we went out to dinner with my buddy Rob, the guy I ran the marathon with. He was in Hollywood. We went to his house. Remember, he lived next door to Helen Hunt.
Didn't we go out to dinner with him, like in
We
the
did.
Hollywood
We
Hills
did.
or something like that?
Yeah, we went somewhere. I don't remember where, but
Yeah, and he lived near Cuba Gooding Jr. or something like that. Well, you need to follow up with him now. I mean, have him look at your book. He might be able, he might think the concept, actually, based on what I know about it conceptually and stuff, it could be potentially converted, be a decent thing for a screenplay,
they have a program out there that if you're Jewish, you get into this internship, and it's like they help each other up the ladder. And
Didn't I ever tell you I was Jewish too?
yeah, good luck
Look
with
at
that.
Look at the,
Well, you laugh, but if you went through your lineage, I'm sure there's somebody somewhere along the way that was.
well, look, here's the reality, okay? I guarantee, and I need to do a heritage check on my background because for all I know, I have some Middle Eastern in me. I might have some North African in me because of that region of the world. There's no doubt. It could be 2% or 3%. Easy. Easy. Yep. You, for example, I know you have Chilean in you.
Peggy did it for the whole family, and it came back, and it's pretty much what it said, that I had Jewish in me, like 1%. But
Really?
then they did an update like 6 months later, and they revised it because they're constantly, the more people go into the pool, the more
Yeah.
they're able to update it.
Yeah.
And then that went away. But not
Yeah.
surprisingly, I think it said I'm like 50% Irish.
Yeah. No,
Guys.
I was going to say you're British. You're British Isles all the way, Irish, Scottish, Wales, English, somewhere in there, 100%.
Yeah, no, they get pretty precise now. But you know what's amazing is when I was in Ireland, and when they reminded me,
Yeah.
the Gaelic, right? The Gaelic and the Irish cross, right? There's ties to that all the way up to Scandinavia, to Germany. Back then, everybody was conquering everybody. So
Absolutely.
There was intermingling all over the place.
100%. 100%. No
and
doubt
then
about it.
And then obviously the Romans, right? So the Romans.
And that's where I was going because of my Italian heritage background. The Romans, as the Roman Empire, the expanse of land that they conquered, and then the people they mixed with. I mean, there's still Roman baths in Britain, right? And the Roman Empire stretched as far as Hadrian's Wall, just on the outskirts of Ireland, right? Right. So, there was mixing in there. Some of the soldiers probably mixed with the women of the British Isles. We know for a fact they mixed with the North Africans in Carthage because they conquered Carthage. And some of the soldiers had kids with some of the
and
black
Hannibal
women.
and Hannibal conquered Italy too.
There you go. There you go. So that there was mixing there probably. And the Sicilians, you don't want to say this to them, they'll probably punch you in the nose, but they definitely have a few percentage points of North African in them, a lot of them, right? Because it's that general area, right? And they might even have some Turkish in them and stuff like that, right? Because you're just going across the Aegean, which isn't that far, heading east, so that whole expanse, right? And mix, right?
Yeah, the whole world is going to be brown at this point.
100%. The whole world is going more and more, heterogeneous, right, versus homogeneous, right? Our generation, you and me and stuff, are amongst the last of the homogeneous. It started with us. Me, I'm a half breed, half and half, but my mother's a full breed, right? My father's a full breed, Italian, Greek, full. But that's changing.
But again, like you said, I mean, just because, culturally they are, but genetically, who knows?
Yeah, well, yeah, I would even argue I might even have some German in me because of southern Germany, Bavaria, right? All you got to do is go across the Italian Alps. You go through Brenner's Pass in northern Italy. Brenner's Pass leads you right into Bavaria, right? So you know the most northern parts of Italy.
I took the bus across from Bavaria over to Milan
Okay,
through
okay,
Liechtenstein and Switzerland.
okay, so you know, so when you're in really northern Italy, the people are very light skinned. Some of them have blonde hair and stuff, you know?
Not now.
Well, okay. Yeah, I get it. There's been a lot of migrations and stuff, but whatever. Yep.